You cannot apply to become a Hells Angel. There's no job posting, no recruiter, no website where you enter your information and wait for a call back. The world's most notorious motorcycle club doesn't want you to find them. They find you. And when they do, what follows is a multi-year test built to break most people long before they ever touch the real patch. The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club operates in 66 countries with more than 6,000 members across 592 charters. Law enforcement agencies in the United States, Canada, Australia, and across Europe classify them as an organized crime syndicate. The Department of Justice places them among the big four outlaw motorcycle clubs. But what makes them different is this. They aren't hiding. They wear their colours in public. They ride in formation. Everyone knows who they are. Almost nobody understands how their internal hierarchy actually works. Getting inside starts at the bottom. And the bottom is lower than most people imagine. Level 1, hang around. You're not a member. You're not even a prospect. You're just someone who's been noticed. Someone who shows up at the right bars, rides the right bike, knows the right people, and doesn't act stupid in front of men who can end your future with one word. The visible requirements are simple enough. Valid driver's license, motorcycle over 750 cubic centimeters. In North America, usually American made, usually Harley Davidson. But those are just surface rules. The real requirements are never written down. You start getting invited to parties. Maybe you're allowed near the clubhouse parking lot. Maybe someone lets you sit at the edge of a gathering and watch without speaking unless spoken to. You're being evaluated the entire time. How do you handle alcohol? How do you handle disrespect? Do you talk too much? Can you follow rules nobody explains to you? The club has hard exclusions. If you've ever applied to be a police officer or prison guard, you're out. If you're a child molester, you're not just out, you're in danger. Intravenous drug use is forbidden. Everything else gets judged in real time over months or years by men who have no obligation to tell you how you're doing. This phase has no fixed timeline. 6 months for some, 2 years for others, some never leave it at all. The invitations just stop. And the smart ones understand that silence is the answer. Level 2. Associate. This is not a promotion you celebrate. It just means you're slightly less disposable than you were yesterday. As an associate, you're still outside the circle, still unprotected, still trying to prove that you can be useful, quiet, available, and loyal without being told exactly what that means. You run errands, show up when called, build relationships with full patch members, learn who matters, who speaks first, who can bury you before you ever get close to a patch. This level matters because the club is watching whether you can exist around power without reaching for it too quickly. A lot of men fail here because they get impatient. They start acting like they're already in. The club notices. The club remembers. Then one day, if a full patch member is willing to risk his own reputation on you, he sponsors you. Now the real test begins. Level 3, prospect. You finally have a patch on your back. But not the patch, not the death head, not the full colours, just one word, prospect. This is the phase outsiders imagine as glamorous until they hear what it actually is. Your life stops belonging to you. You clean members' motorcycles until every chrome surface reflects like a mirror. You guard the clubhouse through the night. You answer your phone at 3 a.m. and show up without asking why. You follow orders from every full patch member, not just your sponsor. If someone with colours tells you to move, you move. The work is boring until it isn't, monotonous until it turns dangerous. That's the point. The club is testing whether you'll obey without control, without certainty, without knowing how long the humiliation lasts. And that uncertainty can stretch for years. 6 months if everything goes right. 5 years if the club wants to keep testing you. There is no fixed graduation date because the men above you are measuring something a calendar can't capture: endurance. Then comes the part that breaks a lot of prospects. You don't just need your own charter to like you. You need the wider region to accept you. That means riding to every charter in your geographic jurisdiction and introducing yourself to full patch members across the area. Every one of them gets an opinion. Every one of them gets a vote. And the vote has to be unanimous, not a majority. Everyone. One man says no and years of sacrifice disappear. So you ride, you shake hands, answer questions, read rooms, take the disrespect, show effort, show humility, show that you want it badly enough to keep going without ever begging for it. Most people never make it out of this level. Level 4, full patch member. This is the moment everyone thinks they want. The clubhouse is full. Members have travelled in to witness it. Your sponsor stands beside you. The president asks if anyone objects. Silence. The vote already happened, but ritual matters. He hands you the top rocker. Hell's Angels. You sew it onto your own vest while everyone watches. That matters because the patch isn't yours. It belongs to the club. You're allowed to wear it. If you leave, get expelled, or die in disgrace, it goes back. Now you pay dues. Show up to meetings. Show up to rides. Show up when the charter calls. A full patch doesn't make you free. It binds you tighter. And you quickly learn an important truth. Getting patched in doesn't put you near the top. It puts you at the bottom of a new hierarchy. The vest gives you status in public. Inside the club, you still rank beneath the officers, beneath older members, beneath the men who built the charter before you ever touched a bike. Even the ride formation tells the story. President in front, vice president behind him, road captain, sergeant at arms, then the rest. Your place in that line tells everyone exactly where you stand. Level 5, charter officer. This is where patch turns into authority. Most charters are small enough that everyone matters and large enough that hierarchy is mandatory. The officer corps runs everything. President, vice president, secretary, treasurer, road captain, sergeant at arms. These are not decorative titles. The road captain controls routes, timing, stops, contingencies. The sergeant at arms handles discipline, security, internal disputes and threats. The treasurer manages dues, expenses and money streams that don't fit cleanly on legal paperwork. The secretary tracks records, standing, suspensions, expulsions, communication between charters. The vice president is the president's shadow and possible replacement. And the president makes the calls that matter. Discipline, relationships, territory, business, direction. Getting elected to one of these positions means the charter trusts you with power. Losing that trust can cost you the position. In the wrong circumstances, it can cost you the patch. Level 6. Nomad. Not every powerful angel is tied to one clubhouse. Nomads operate across territories. They aren't loners. They're experienced members with enough reputation and network value to move between regions without belonging to one local charter. Their patch says Nomad instead of a place name, and that single word carries weight. A nomad can connect charters that would otherwise stay local. He can carry messages, smooth tensions, coordinate across geographic gaps, and move through the Federation with a kind of mobility ordinary members don't have. That makes him useful. It also makes him dangerous. Because freedom inside a rigid hierarchy always creates ambiguity. And ambiguity creates opportunity. Nomads are often in positions where oversight is thinner and influence is wider. You don't volunteer to become one. You're invited. And by the time that invitation comes, you've usually spent years proving that your value extends beyond one room in one city. Level 7. The patch beyond the patch. Even inside the full patch world, there are symbols that separate ordinary status from something heavier. The AFFA patch, Angels Forever, Forever Angels, signals lifelong commitment. Brotherhood not as a phase, but as an identity that survives age, distance, prison, even death. Then there's the patch almost nobody explains openly, Filthy Few, usually paired with 2 lightning bolts. Law enforcement claims it's reserved for members who have committed murder on behalf of the club or are willing to. The club denies that interpretation. What can't be denied is that very few men wear it, and everyone who understands the symbol reacts to it differently. These aren't patches you ask for. They appear after certain actions, certain histories, certain thresholds. This is where the hierarchy becomes less about office and more about myth, reputation, fear, what other members believe you've done or would do when the line gets crossed. Level 8. The network beyond the patch. The Hells Angels don't stand alone. They rule through layers. Support clubs and puppet clubs exist in many of the same places the Angels operate. The Red Devils are the most famous example, with chapters in nearly 20 countries. In Scandinavia, groups like AK-81 and Red and White Crew have served as recruitment and support pipelines. These organizations follow direction, provide security, absorb risk, and handle things that give the Angels distance from direct scrutiny. That is how power expands without inflating official membership. The club doesn't need to patch in everyone. It just needs enough loyal men one layer down, doing work one layer removed. Law enforcement calls this organised crime infrastructure. The club calls it brotherhood. Level 9, the ghost at the top. This is the final truth of the ladder. There is no single global king, no CEO, no supreme commander of all 66 countries. The Hells Angels operate as a federation. Each charter elects its own officers. Each region coordinates its own power. Influence flows through history, reputation, blood-earned respect, and the ability to shape the culture without formally controlling every room. Sonny Barger came closest to becoming the face of the summit. He didn't found the club, but he helped define what it became. When he took over Oakland in the late 1950s, he moved the mother chapter from San Bernardino and helped formalize rules that still shape the organization. He became the public face, the spokesman, the mythic center. Not because he had corporate authority, but because when he spoke, men listened. He died in 2022. The structure remained. That's the kind of power the ladder is really building toward. Not a throne. A legacy strong enough that your influence survives rooms you never enter. And that's what most outsiders miss about the Hells Angels. They are not just criminals who happen to ride motorcycles. They are a hierarchy built around selection, endurance, obedience, and identity. The point is not efficiency. The point is filtration. To grind away everyone who can't handle uncertainty, humiliation, pain, hierarchy, and years of proving themselves without any guarantee of reward. Every level is a test. Every promotion costs time. Every symbol on the vest means someone suffered long enough to earn the right to wear it. And somewhere right now, some young man is sitting in a clubhouse parking lot pretending to be relaxed while pretending not to hope. He thinks he's waiting to be noticed. What he doesn't understand yet is that the moment they notice him, his old life is over.